Scott, thanks for joining us after the midweek action at MK. We're at home to Chesterfield on Saturday. What are your thoughts heading into that one?
Well, they don't come any easier, do they? You play MK Dons away, and now we're playing Chesterfield at home. So yeah, tough game. They're having a good season. They're obviously in the playoff positions, and when I look at their team, I think they've got some real good players, good attacking threats. Will Grigg at the top of the pitch, and Mandeville behind, and Dobra and Markande in them wide areas are a real attacking threat. They've got goals in them. Couple of really good midfield players behind them. Sammy Braybrook and Ryan Sturck can really handle the ball, and of course at the back they've got some real experience. So they're a really capable team. We've got to be at our best. But a game I'm looking forward to. When we think back and look back at when we played them at their place, we drew the game and potentially could have won it. If you remember, Kahim Dixon went through in a real big chance, wasn't it? 1v1, and potentially we could have come away with all 3 points. So I'm confident. I'm confident with the way the team are performing, certainly after the Tuesday night's game. I thought we were really good against a good side, and we've been, some games we haven't been great against the teams, at the top in terms of Bromley and Cambridge, I recall. But there's been teams when we have played well, such as your Swindons, your MK Dons, and such like. So, I'm hopeful that we'll recover the lads from Tuesday really well and prepare another training session tomorrow and prepare the lads to go again.
Yeah, I think you've basically answered my second question, but we do seem to do well against the teams that are sort of a bit further up the table. Obviously, Bromley are a little bit more direct. We know what they're about, but the teams that sort of take it to us, we sort of enjoy that challenge, don't we? And we like playing against those sort of teams.
Yeah, I think so. And like I say, we could have come away with all 3 points at Chesterfield. I thought it was a good game. I think that we have to be present. I felt what happened on Tuesday night was every single player reached the levels that they can reach, and therefore that gives us a chance in the game. On reflection of that game on Tuesday, they had 2, good chances. Alex Gilby around the far post in the first half, and Scott Hogan's chance in the second half off a second phase of a corner. It's probably a harder chance than probably first thought. He's on the swivel on the volley, and I think it's a harder chance than probably people give it credit for. So really speaking, they have a couple of good chances. We didn't probably create that many clear cut, but I thought we were the better team in the game. Listen, when you go to MK Dons and play the way we played and come away with a point and a clean sheet, you can only build on that and be happy with that.
Yeah, on Tuesday night, I haven't looked at the exact number on the stats, but it seemed like we were taking a lot more shots. Is that a message that you've been sort of conveying to the players of sort of take the foot off the gas a little bit when we get to the edge of the box? Because as we've said, it only takes one, even if it isn't the cleanest of strikes, just to hit someone and go in, and that might be the turning point for us.
Yeah, it seems to be where every time I analyse an opposition, I always look back at their goals conceded from their last 10 games, and there's always a pattern, and normally in League Two it's box entries and goals from the D, and then we've done some data on it as well. In League Two, 48% of goals are scored from box entries, whether that's from set pieces or from open play, and 21% of goals are scored from shots from the D. So it's a big percentage, and you kind of see that with a lot of teams when you analyse a lot of the oppositions and you look at their goal trends scored against. A lot of the trends are box entries, shots from distance, get to that D and pull the trigger. And I don't think we do it enough as a team. I think we've started to become more aggressive when crossing the ball. I think now, obviously, with Kellen in the team, I think Kellen's somebody who crosses the ball really well. Lewis on the other side and Johnny or whoever plays, Harry Forster, we have put balls in the box on that side as well. So it's important that we continue to do that. But like I say, I want to see more shots from distance. I think that we turn that down too many times.
Yeah, I want to talk about that defensive five actually, because Are you aware of the best five there? Because obviously with the injuries to Theo, we've had injuries to Johnny. AK's been coming in and out with injury. Like we've had so many positions chop and change in there, which we've spoken about before, is not being ideal. But equally, I suppose with the amount of players we brought in January, we've still got to figure out where suits everybody best.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that obviously when Vas come in and played, we kept 3 clean sheets in the row. And that was largely down to him, but then it was really pleasing to see us keep a clean sheet without him. With Badge in the team as the middle centre-back. I think Badge has got some real control about him. Looks calm with the ball, but I'm really pleased that we kept a clean sheet. He had a real tough task as well because we went man for man on the press against MK Dons, and he finds himself in a one-on-one with Rushan Epburn-Murphy, who, as we know, is like Roadrunner. And I thought Badge dealt with him really well. I know he got booked in the first 40 seconds. And that was probably the only opportunity they got down the sides of us. And other than that, I thought that Badge dealt with that really well. So, yeah, I'm, at the moment, really pleased with that back line. Of course, we don't want Theo Vassell to be injured, but he is. And we have to deal with it accordingly and get on with it. And the boys certainly did that on Tuesday night.
Yeah, was there a point when Josh Flint came off that he thanked you on the basis that's the first time he's been brought off this season, that he's missed any minutes? But on the flip side of that, on the more serious note, it's good to know that we've got players like Johnny who can fill in that position as well, because Flinty seems to be the everlasting one out that back three.
Well, listen, we've got probably 2 or 3 that can play in that position. Really, Johnny played there, fitted in really well. I think the problem is obviously we'd already brought Lewis off, and Lewis can play there. He has played there quite a lot for Bradford, and we'd already brought him off. So, and we know that Johnny has played full back, so it's not too dissimilar to how we play. And he come on and he was brilliant. He won a lot of headers, and I thought he was excellent when he come on. And of course we've got Scott Malone waiting in the wings as well. He's training well at the moment, and of course he can play there as well. And it goes without saying you could probably manoeuvre the back three around a little bit and maybe put Charlie out there, and AK can play right inside. There's so many options I can do if Flinty does become injured. But yeah, I think it was more that his Achilles was sore, and he was struggling a little bit to run, and I just didn't want to risk that last 5-10 minutes, whatever it was, whatever the time was when he come off. I didn't want to risk somebody running at him late on in the game, and he couldn't do the defensive duty properly because of that, so I just felt it was right to bring him off.
Justin Ferrazi, to quote you a couple of weeks ago before the Crewe game, when we agreed the signing, maybe he doesn't get near it straight away, but one for the future. But he's proved he's sort of one for now, isn't he? In the last 6
yeah.
months.
I mean, the future can be anything, can't it? You know what I mean? I think what the idea is that we had good numbers in the middle of the pitch. And Justin was kind of like a fill-in piece, to not be disrespectful to him.
Yeah, of course.
It kind of was, but obviously with knowing his age and knowing what he's capable of, we felt that he's a real asset to the football club. We had obviously Max Anderson fit at the time. We had Louis Copley fit at the time. We had players who potentially could play next to Jay in there, fit and available. And then, of course, now Copley's not fit and available, neither is Max Anderson. Then the door opens. And, of course, Badgerami can play in there. But then Vassell becomes injured, so you need Badge in the back line. So then that shirt becomes available. Go on then, son, take it. And he has. I thought he's been probably, arguably, our best player. I've really enjoyed him. He's his first kind of start in professional football, MK Dons away. I thought he was probably not far off one of the best players on the pitch.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It was amazing how he just wasn't overawed by it all, was he? But did you know that he wasn't going to be like that?
That would never cross my mind with him. If you get to know the kid, he's so backs himself, which is probably why I never did send him out on loan, which was the original plan. But then he knocked on my door and go, no, I don't want to go out on loan. Right. Trust me, keep me here. I'm going to get in your team. And I absolutely loved that about him. And I thought, I love that attitude. And he has. So fair play to him.
Yeah, and Jacob Chapman as well. There was a fan at the Fans Forum last week said he would sell his kidney to keep him here permanently. Have you been in Erdem's?
Get it on the market.
Have you been in Erdem's ear about keeping? Because the other night, he's been exceptional anyway, but the other night particularly, he was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he has been in all the games for me. I think he's been excellent. I've been really pleased with him. He's kept 4 clean sheets now, and His presence is just amazing. His positioning's amazing. I don't know if you remember the other night, the balls he clipped to the left, to Flinty's side, and I think he clipped a couple to Charlie's side, and it's got that real fizz on it when he clips it. It gets there. It's not fading. It gets there. No, I've been absolutely delighted with him. Yeah, of course, I would move heaven and earth to keep him for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned Louis Copley. What is the update with him and Harry McCurdy as well?
Yeah, so with Louis Copley, he's going to be probably another 2 weeks minimum, 4 weeks maximum, I would think. I know it's kind of vague, but he's not our player, so we've got to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
We have to be governed by what Arsenal see and say as well. Ricky, my strength and conditioning coach, is in touch with them. And we've built a really good relationship with that side of it as well. And yeah, he's rolled his ankle, and it's not right yet, and it's the same ankle as what he did the first time. So he's going to be like I say, 2 to 4 weeks. Harry McCurdy's got a nerval problem in his back at the moment. He really struggles to. Like we've done some testing with him today, and he really struggles. So we might have to get that scanned. But I think it's more of a sciatic nerve problem more than anything. So yeah, it's just struggling with it at the moment. And I think he was in the last time he was on the pitch. You could see he really struggled towards the end of before he come off the pitch in that last game that he played.
Yeah, and obviously there's 4 games now without a goal. Are you looking at freshening up the personnel at the top, or is it just a case you think it will click at some point?
No, definitely not. I mean, the boys at the top of the pitch, I think Orsi, in actual fact, somebody asked me about it the other day, and I think Orsi's actually playing better now than he was when he was with us the first time. He's just not scored the goals that he did the first time, which is one part of his game, obviously. Yeah. There's many facets to how a striker plays and works, and he looks like he's really got the bit between his teeth with his play. I think his hold-up play, his link play, his work ethic, his pressing, his defensive duties, everything he does has been spot on. I think he's playing really, really well. He's just missing a goal. And I think that from my experience with working with him, he's always been what I call a cluster goal scorer. He'll score in clusters. He'll go 6-7 games without scoring. Then he'll go 3 games where he'll score 6, and then he might not score for another 4. Then he'll score, another 6 in 5 or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's kind of like that type of striker, and at the moment, we don't want to get frustrated with him. No one needs to get frustrated with him. I'm not putting any pressure on him because he's playing so well. I think he had probably 1 chance on Tuesday night at the near post, which actually was defended really well. Killen put a really good ball in the box. He ran to the near post. He did everything right. The defender blocked it, and it went into the keeper's hands. Kind of slow the movement of the ball down. He did everything right. Sometimes there's been times when he probably should have scored. I think the one probably at Barrow where he hit the post, I think was an opportunity for him to put it in the net. But it will come, and when it does come, there'll be loads will follow, because that's kind of how he is. But no, definitely not. I think the 2 behind him in Lolas and Darcy are getting better by the game. You've got to remember Lolas has not played loads, so getting up to speed of things. Darcy's played a little bit more, and has had quiet games, but I thought the last 2 I think he's done well. So yeah, there's no need to panic about the fact that we're not scoring. We're still creating a lot. For me, we're creating enough. Our XG is always reasonable. We just got to continue.
Brilliant. Thanks, Scott. Good luck
Thank
Saturday.
you.